Hello everybody and welcome to another reaction video. And today we're going to be reacting to a band called Humanity's Last Breath. Never heard of them before. So, as usual, I did a bit of research and I found Humanity's Last Breath are a deathcore band formed in Helsingborg, Sweden in 2009. And that was it. I hunted around for bloody ages trying to find information about the band, and that is all I could find. Deathcore band formed in Helsingborg, 2009. Anyway, I'm gonna be reacting today to a track called Abyssal Mouth. Pretty grim. Tried to look up about the song. Obviously, there was less information there than there was about the band, but I have managed to find some lyrics. So, I'm curious to see what this is going to be like. I can't really speak much else about the band because I don't know anything about them. So I think we'll just get straight to the song. So, yes, Humanity's Last Breath, Abyssal Mouth. I'm really not sure what to make of this because, I mean, for a couple of seconds it was relatively calm and then it just came thumping in really hard, really heavy, punched you straight in the face, sort of like, boom, heavy music. But I like the style of the vocals are very good. And again, it's a slightly more extreme version of what I do. But the actual music itself, I'm not overly sure of, because you can't really hear much melody in the music. It is just, well, the drums seem to overpower everything. You can't really hear the guitars very much, and even when the guitars are playing, there's no real actual melody to it. It's just a sort of fast, constant chugging sound. And then there was that bit where there was that really strange, high-pitched sort of squeal from either a guitar or a synthesizer or something. I'm not sure what it was. But that actually cuts straight through me. Rather uncomfortable. The song itself, however, seems, should I say, to be talking about the destruction of Earth. You know, how the Earth is falling to waste and how we're destroying it. Or it could just mean the world in general, with populace included. Because it opens ever declining human worth, Just let me rest, longing for deathly silence. Severing ties with this malformation, a pestilent swarm, the flaw of nature. So, ever declining human worth. So, we are becoming we care less and less about the planet as it is, and just let me rest longing for deathly silence. So it's just, look, just leave me alone. I just want to wait. I just want this all to disappear. I want everything to die away. So I can be rid of it, possibly. Severing ties with this malformation. So it's like, I just want this to go. I just want this to go away. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. A pestilent swarm, the flaw of nature. So that's referring to humanity itself. Humanity being a pestilent swarm, often, they're often likened to vermin. The flaw of nature, is something that never should have in there. Alright. Pitch black swollen, descend into my realm, rejoice in a world wiped clean. So that's possibly a reference to Armageddon, maybe. And then it carries on, transforming all waters. Try this again. Transforming all waters of this earth into blood, breathe this air replaced by dust and smoke. The earth swathe its tongue of an abyssal gape, like ash crumbling in a sea of waste. So transforming all the waters of this earth into blood, that could be referencing the way humanity is always at war with itself and always killing each other, and sooner or later all the rivers are going to run red with the blood of humankind. Breathe the air replaced by dust and smoke. That could probably be a reference to the way that we are polluting the planet, filling the air with like toxins and all this other crap from everything we're doing. There are certain people of influence in this world who seem to think this is all make-believe, despite all of the scientific data. I'm not going to name any names, but I think you know who we're talking about. And then it goes, the earth swayed in the tongue of an abyssal gape, like ash crumbling in a sea of waste. I'm not sure about what that is. But, like I said, it's interesting. Vocally, it's impressive, it's well executed. The song, it's a good song, it's got a good meaning behind it, but the actual music itself, I'm not sure about. Let's carry on and see what happens. Abyssal Mouth by Humanity's Last Breath. I'll just go over what was left of the lyrics and we'll talk about the actual process. Carried on there. Just let me rest, longing for a deathly silence. Swallow me whole, abyssal mouth. I find solace in a world wiped clean. Swallow me whole, abyssal mouth. In the silence of a world wiped clean, swallow me whole, abyssal mouth. So, you know, he's wanting, you know, he wants to be left alone, in quiet, in the silence. I'm not sure what abyssal mouth is. It could be, you know, just a reference to the void of after death. I'm not sure. You know, he just wants to be left alone. He doesn't want anything to do with humanity or the world as it stands right now. I don't know. It carries on, reaching this human stench, seeking its way through the air, poisoning its surroundings, spewer of waste. You're counting the days to absolute ruination, this momentous abolition. So he's basically talking about the fact that humanity is poisoning the earth, you know, and they don't seem to care, you know. And you know, everything, almost everything we do is destroying the earth. You know, the manufacture of trade goods, vehicles, all kinds of vehicles. Pretty much everything we do is contributing to the poison and the death of the earth, and we don't seem to actively do anything about it. And it says you're counting the base to absolute ruination, this momentum abolition. So, you know, we're sitting there going, you know, we're destroying the earth, but who cares? It's not going to end in our lifetime. But sooner or you know, someone's going to have to deal with it sooner or later, and it's going to be like our fault that the next generation haven't got a planet to live on anymore. And you know, there's only a matter of days before, the whole earth crumbles, like the ozone layer fails, and you know. And then it goes, overflowing from the bowels of earth emerging, a population drowning, infinite doom surging. So, again, it's talking about the fact that humanity is essentially a plague on the earth, and, you know, the population of the planet is getting so much now that the earth can't sustain, you know, the population. You know, a couple of years ago, there was like 7 billion people on the planet, now there's like 9.5 billion, you know, and the number of people on the planet is growing at such a rate that, you know, the earth can't handle it, and obviously to compensate for the growth in humankind, we have to destroy more things like forests and stuff like that in order to build homes for these people. So, you know, it's a never-ending cycle. It says, the floor of nature, the pestilent swarm, like ash crumbling as I await my final sleep. So, the floor of nature, the pestilent swarm, that's basically humanity. Like ash crumbling, I'm not sure, as I await my final sleep. So it's just like, you know, I'm done with this, I just want it over with, I'm out, you know. But it's an interesting meaning behind the song if I'm reading it correctly, you know, talking about, you know, the state, they're talking about the state of the earth and how we're not, you know, doing much to fix it or help it, and, you know, everything we do is pretty much selfish, you know, we don't think about the consequences that it will have on the planet or to other people. So, you know, it's got a very good meaning behind it, and I like it. And I will say, when it came to the actual music of the song, there was a lot more noticeable guitar parts towards the latter parts of the song. I mean, there was a sort of slower bit which had a bit of, you know, some pretty good guitar sound in it, and a couple of the riffs towards the end seemed to be a bit more guitar forward, but still, I think the drums overpowered everything a little bit too much. You couldn't really hear the guitars, because there were certain parts towards the end where, you know, you could hear the drums just chugging away as they were, and you just like right on the edge of my hearing, I could hear a guitar riff, but I couldn't hear it clearly enough because like the drums or even the drums and the bass together were just overpowering the sound of the guitar. So I don't know whether it was just bad mixing or I don't know, but what I did hear of the actual guitar riffs and stuff like that towards the end of the track, they were very, very good. And I did notice something as well: is the vocalist threw in some different styles of vocal, which is, again, I've mentioned it many times. It's something I like when they mix things up. I mean, he didn't do it very much throughout the song. There was just this sort of little bit towards the end of the track where he did that, and it's something that I like because it mixes it up and it sort of catches you by surprise and makes you go, oh, that's interesting. That's just the way that I like. Yeah, that's just something I like artists do because I think it sort of breaks up. I'm not going to say monotony is not the word I mean, but it's like that. You're listening to the same vocal style throughout the entire song, but if you break it up with different styles, adds a little bit, a little bit of surprise to it, and sort of, keeps you interested. If that makes sense. So I'm not sure whether that song itself might just be well, I'm not even going to say a bad example. It might not have even been their best track. So I would very much like to check out some more of their stuff because that was very, very interesting. And I'd like to see if maybe some of their other tracks are less drum forward, and you can actually hear the guitars a bit better. But it wasn't too bad. I actually quite liked that. I mean, I like the vocal style. What melody I did hear from the guitars, I did really quite like. And it was fast, it was heavy, and it had a good meaning behind it. So overall, it was a pretty decent track. And yes, I would like to hear some more. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or you can message me on my Facebook or my Instagram. There are links for those in the description. Just know that if you do suggest a track, it will take me a while to get around to it, because I get suggested dozens and dozens of tracks every single day, and my list grows faster than I can record the tracks. So rest assured, I do write down every single track that is suggested to me. It will just take me a while to get around to it. So be patient. Also, Metalhead React is a very proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They are a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes, and more specifically those that are aimed at people of the alternative subculture, people who dress in alternative clothing or listen to alternative music. Because on a daily basis, pretty much every single day, you hear about hate crimes. Like, you hear about racism, you hear about homophobia, you hear about transphobia, all of these sorts of things. They're hate crimes where people are getting attacked because of their religious beliefs, their sexual identity, or how they identify themselves. But the one you don't hear of very often is people getting attacked just purely because of the music that they listen to or the way that they dress. I mean, the most often you hear attacks on people for the way they dress is like the Muslim women wearing hijabs or whatever they're called. I can never remember what they're called. You hear about that, but that's because of fear and because everybody lumps the terrorists in together and saying that every Muslim is a terrorist, which is absolute bullshit. But that's the most you hear of it. But you don't ever actually hear about the people of alternative lifestyle getting verbally and physically attacked because they listen to heavy metal, because they're wearing a heavy metal band shirt, or because they're wearing a gothic Lolita dress, or whatever it is. But this sort of thing, it happens every damn day. It literally happened to me every day of my life for the entire time that I was at secondary school or high school, depending on what you want to call it. I got verbally and physically attacked every day for a good 6 years, maybe longer. And it still happens today, just because of the way that I dress and because of the music that I listen to. And there's some of my friends, well, many of my friends, who've been through the same thing, being verbally and physically attacked just because of the music that they listen to and the way that they dress. And it makes no sense. There is no way anybody can justify it, And it's sickening that, people think it is acceptable to attack someone because they like a different style of music, because they like a different style of clothing. I've made this comparison before. It makes as much sense as beating someone up because they don't like the same flavour ice cream as you do. It's like, how does it make any sense? How can you justify it in your head to make this seem an okay thing to do? It just doesn't work. There's no way. If anybody can actually give me a good, justifiable excuse as to why someone would do that, I would gladly listen. But you could. I've thought about it many, many times, and I just can't come up with one. Because whatever music someone listens to in their own home, whatever music someone listens to on their iPod with headphones, doesn't affect anybody else. It doesn't affect anybody around them. I mean, unless they're walking down the street with a speaker in their hand, blaring that music at full volume and shoving it in people's faces, it doesn't affect anybody. It doesn't hurt anybody. Or what clothes they wear. If you don't like it, don't bloody look at it. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't affect you in any other way. You don't have to look at it. Just, ignore it and carry on. You don't have to beat someone up just because you don't like their clothes. But, it's something that doesn't get enough recognition. And it's something that needs to be dealt with, and it's something that needs to stop. And, I think it's a very worthwhile thought. Because, there are millions of people that get an attack. Some people are even hospitalised just for this fact. And in the case of the Sophie Lancaster story, there are certain people who have been murdered or killed because of the clothes that they wear. It's unacceptable. It should not happen, and it cannot go on. It cannot happen again. And it shouldn't take the death of a young woman for this to become a thing. This should be common sense. This should be something that has always been. But unfortunately, people are idiots. But if you'd like to find out more about Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're doing at the moment, and find out what they're all about, because they can explain it damn slightly better than I can, because I just waffle on random tangent. And if you can help them in any small way, even if it's something as simple as one of these Sophie bracelets, which I think they're like £1 on the store, every little bit helps. And every little bit of help is greatly appreciated by them. So, if you can help in any way, it'll be absolutely fantastic. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching. See you again.